Coming to you from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, FATV presents coverage of St. Bernard's ice hockey. And tonight, the St. Bernard's Bernardians will be taking on the Assabet Valley Aztecs in a rematch of a hockey game from a fortnight ago. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Daniel Bolak. Happy to have you along with us here tonight. The Bernardians come into this game with a record of 13-1 and a perfect 5-0 mark in the CMAC B, coming off a very exciting 5-4 overtime victory over the Crusaders of Grand Dunstable this past Saturday. Matthew Sylvia had 2 goals and assists, including the overtime winner. Brody Kenny had a goal and assist. Phoenix Fortier and Toby Bolak each found the back of the net as well. Assists for Evan Walker, Cody Warren, and J.J. John. Chase Bergeron with 20 saves as the Bernardians outshot the Crusaders 40-24. 13 wins in 14 games for St. Bernard. It's been one of their best seasons in quite a long time. And they're going to try to keep the momentum up in this league game, their 6th of 8 this season in the CMAC B. On the other side, Assabet Valley comes to this game with a record of 4-5-2. They are 2-1 in the CMAC B, so still a number of league games for them to go. The one loss coming to St. Bernard's earlier this year as well. Just 2 weeks ago, these two teams met, and St. Bernard's came away with a 5-1 victory. Matthew Sylvia was the go-getter for the Bernardians in that one with 2 goals and 2 assists. Evan Walker, 2 goals and 1 assist in that one, and J.J. Jaw had a goal and an assist. Tyler McGarry had 19 saves for the Bernardians. For the Aztecs in that one, Marshall Bercume had the goal on a feed for Brady Saka. Alex Welburn got saddled with the loss, but we'll expect Welburn, the senior netminder from West Boylston, to be back in goal tonight for the Aztecs again. Assabet 4-5-2 as mentioned. Their most recent game was on Saturday, taking on the Lynn Jets, and they came away with a 4-1 victory. Joe Bent, Elliot Edwards, Liam Carpenter, and Alex Silver all had the goals for the blue, gold, and gray. Dustin Daly had 2 assists, Sam Ryder had an assist, and Alex Welburn had 21 saves. This Aztec team, 4-5-2. We're looking at their leading scorers. Joe Bent, a senior from Maynard, is the leader with 11 points on the campaign. They've got a couple of players with about 9 points. Brady Saka's got 2 goals and 7 assists. Elliot Edwards, a little lopsided in the other direction. He's got a team leading 8 goals and 1 helper to his credit as well. Alex Silver with 5 goals and 3 assists for 8 points as well. This Assabet Valley Aztec side is a co-op made up of multiple different schools. Assabet's the host in all of that, but they also get assistance from West Boylston and from Maynard, and new for this season, St. Paul, the football rival of the Bernardians, who have been sponsoring ice hockey since the merger between St. Peter Marion and Holy Name. However, the Knights just had way too much of a number crunch, only had about 15 players last season, lost 5 to graduation, and things just not looking quite good enough to really field a team this season. And so the players who are still around and willing to play for St. Paul ended up playing for Assabet instead. So a different shade of gold and some different colors to their uniforms, but still getting the opportunity. Marshall Bercume's one of the leaders coming over from St. Paul. He's got 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points this season. Liam Carpenter's got 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points on the campaign as well. And Dustin Daly has 5 assists, although in Daly's case, he played for St. Paul last year and then transferred to Assabet, so he would have been on this team either way. For St. Bernard's this year, they're led by Matthew Sylvia with 49 points in 14 games this season, averaging 3.5 points a game. That's quite something for the Fitchburg native, already in the 100-point club, and he's just a junior as well. The 23 goals and 26 assists and the 49 points, all of that leads Central Mass in scoring. But Evan Walker's right behind him in those marks. 15 goals and 22 assists for 37 points on the season. And then a couple more Bernardians who are over the 20-point plateau. Phoenix Fortier's got 15 goals and 12 assists for 27 points. And Toby Bolak's got 12 goals and 12 assists for 24 points. Whole lot of production from this Bernardian side this year. To think 5 years ago, they were just restarting hockey after a couple of years off, after they had to play ice hockey with St. Peter Marion and Holy Name. And we saw the baby steps coming out of the pandemic, but now this team has really blossomed and grown. You know, that most recent game against Grand Dunstable, that was actually win number 50 for head coach Steven Sylvia with the Bernardians. And they'll be looking to continue the momentum against a familiar opponent, we can say. We'll let you listen in to Jim LaPointe with the starting lineups in the national anthem here in the first game of this doubleheader that we'll bring you tonight here on FATV.
Please help our students by showing respect to all participants and spectators at tonight's contest and cheering only in a positive manner. Now the starting lineups for the Aztecs. Starting on defense, number 14, Dustin Daly. On defense, number 9, Ethan Fogg. At left wing, number 3, Joe Bent. Starting at right wing, number 7, Marshall Berkhume. And starting at center, number 10, Alex Silver. In goal, number 35, Alex Welburn. And the head coach for the Aztecs is Justin Bush. And now for the Bernardians. Starting on defense, number 3, J.J. Ja. At defense, number 15, Brody Kenny. At wing, number 4, Andrew Thomas. At wing, number 19, Adam Rendon. Starting at center, number 7, Matt Sylvia. And in goal tonight for the Bernardians, number 30, Tyler McGarry. The head coach for the Bernardians is Steve Sylvia. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, students, I would ask you all to please stand as we honor our nation and the flag with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Moments away from puck drop here at the Wallace Civic Center here in Fitchburg. Getting ready for the first game of our doubleheader between the St. Bernard's Bernardians and Assabet Valley Aztecs. Daniel Volak here with you. Starting goalies for these two teams, we mentioned Alex Welburn. He's gotten the bulk of the starts for the Aztecs this season. Don't really have his numbers on hand, but I can tell you for Tyler McGarry on the other side, the junior from Fitchburg, 155 goals against a .915 save percentage. He has a 4-0 record. Bernardians in the home white uniforms with blue numbering, blue stripes, gold trim. They'll go from left to right in this first period. Assabet in the road gray uniforms with gold numbers and blue and gold striping and numbering. They'll be going from right to left. Left wing quarter, Dustin Daly will skate around with velocity to the right side, rubbed off the puck by Matthew Sylvia. Bernardians get it out of the zone briefly, and the attempt to try to knock it back into the zone by Ethan Fogg ends up striking a hand on the Bernardian bench. Bring a stoppage play 26 seconds into the contest. Face-off will come at center ice, which Assabet will take. Into the Bernardian zone. They'll try and move it up the far side boards and thrown towards goal. And Alex Welburn will just cover that one up for a draw. Assabet's got 21 on their varsity roster, scratched 3 tonight. They're dressing 18 with 16 skaters at their disposal. St. Bernard's has 22 skaters on the varsity side. That's the maximum you can dress in a game, so not really bother about the scratches there. Down the ice, that'll go Cody Warren, will go and retrieve. Around to the far side corner for Owen Tolson. To the near side, trying to move that up is Carter Moget. Dispossessed briefly by Colby Cunha. Another one of the St. Paul's players. Flipped out into the neutral zone, settled down for a moment, but now a takeaway and pushing towards goal. Backhand chance, great opportunity for the Bernardians. Couldn't put it home. That was Phoenix Fortier who had the chance. Fortier gets it back on the right side for Moget. Hops along the boards. Out of the reach of Fortier. It'll be taken on the far side by the Aztecs, trying to get it out of the zone. They'll continue to push their way up. Jack Christensen got to the red line and no farther. St. B sends it right back. Sam Ryder, freshman defenseman, moving it along. This Aztec team is pretty young, a number of underclassmen. J.J. Jaw with the settle. Stretch pass, trying to get them while they're changing. And Fortier waiting right at the blue line, tries to get the pass to Moget, but it's out of his reach. On the near side, punched off the boards, and Sylvia lays the boom. Sends Brady Saka right to the ice. Senior back on his skates is Dustin Daly. To the near side, they'll be kept in by Jaw, but picked there by Saka. Saka will come up ice one-on-one, try to push that towards goal. That'll be steered aside by Tyler McGeary. Left wing corner. Bernardians try to pull it out of the zone. Stretched up to the far side and picked up by Evan Walker. Walker shakes out a one check and shakes off a second one. Gets it to Jaw. Out on the point, couldn't be held down there by Canada. But Canada will be able to take it back at the red line anyway and backhand it. It'll be cut down in the neutral zone. Go back and forth between the blue lines and dump back into the Bernardian zone where icing will be called. 12:10 to go, first period, no score. Relatively even going in the early stages, but maybe Assabet just pushing a little too much. Already a couple of prime opportunities, really, with the Bernardians sort of cherry picking a little bit. Sent around the boards to the far side. Owen Tolson will go and retrieve back in his own end. Now on the far side, Toby Bolak is sprung. Bolak tries to take the shot, lost the puck on his stick. It was taken away by Joe Bent. Fortier trying to pass in the corner, knocked down for a moment. Backhand shot, that'll be stopped by Welburn off the stick of Moget. Moget, the senior from Leominster, comes in tonight with a goal and 2 assists on the campaign. Face-off comes to the right of Alex Welburn. And that'll be turned towards Welburn as well. He'll paddle it away. Behind the net, it'll be picked up by the Aztecs. Brought up the near side. Alex Silver with the pass. Will be knocked down by Tolson in his own blue line. He'll go and get the puck behind his own goal line. And that one thrown towards McGarry. He's able to pad that away. To the near side, pass for Phoenix Fortier. Dug out from the boards, but kept in. Nice takeaway shot by Jack Christensen is turned aside by McGarry. A good opportunity for the Aztecs. The left side, that one thrown towards McGarry. He's able to make the stop and hold for no further play. We're 4:01 into this contest. Shots are 3 apiece, but we are scoreless thus far. McGarry got the nod 2 weeks ago when the Bernardians and the Aztecs did battle. Only makes sense he'll get the nod again. Went 19 for 20 in that contest. Only a late goal ended up soiling that shutout. Aztecs back in their own zone. Daly trying to move it along, but taken away. Here's Sylvia, who can't hold on to it. Elliot Edwards will have that instead. But Evan Walker will take it back on the far side, and then he'll lose it. Finally pushed forward for Cunha. Be a foot race to the puck as that pass came from beyond the red line, and icing will be called. Face-off will come all the way back down to the right of Alex Welburn. Senior netminder for Assabet. One of two netminders on this team. Evan Hogan, a junior, is the other one. Loose at the top of the paint, poked away by Welburn. And now trying to skate it out of the zone is Anthony Scola. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists. A lot of the higher numbers on Assabet are freshmen. In fact, the lowest numbered freshman on the Assabet roster is wearing 22. The other freshmen wearing numbers 28, 37, 42, 44, 49. So to an extent, you have to earn your lower number. Face off to the right of Tyler McGarry. Won by the Bernardians. Rimmed around the boards to the far side where it's settled by Fortier. Now Bolak tries the self-pass. He'll get the superior positioning on Christensen. Turned in front, tried to find Fortier for a one-timer, off the mark. Tolson tries to throw that towards goal, but that's cut down. Jackson May is able to get it out of the zone. Here's Christensen gaining the blue line on the right side. Looking around, and puck dispossessed. Comes to the Bernardians on the near side. Taken away, shot rises over the net, off the stick of May. William Carpenter able to push a Bernardi into the boards. A shot saved by McGarry. Another chance there for Ryder. He whiffs on it, and it comes to the left side. Jackson May shoots and scores. And Assabet will have the first strike with 9:12 to go in the first. First goal of the season for the sophomore for Marlboro. Took advantage of a turnover, got a shot, and then they made their opportunities count, and May right on the doorstep, able to fire that past McGarry. It's a 1-0 lead for Assabet Valley. Don't know how many times the Bernardians have conceded the first goal. I can't imagine it's been too many times. Here is Joe Bent from the right circle. His shot will be stopped by McGarry. Glove it down and frees it with 8:52 to go in the first. Alex Silver will take the draw for the Aztecs. We'll lose it to Matthew Sylvia.
Goal by number 12, Jackson May. Assist to number 11, Liam Carpenter. And number 22, Sam Ryder. Time of the goal, 5:48, first period.
So the assists going to Carpenter, his 4th of the campaign, and Ryder, his 2nd. And on the other end, St. Bernard shoots and scores. Matthew Sylvia will lead the handshake line for his 50th point of the season, and we're tied at 1. The lead for the Aztecs does not even last a minute, or the Bernardians respond. A bit of a nonchalant celebration there, too, for the Bernardians. But they'll happily take it to level the score just like that. Toby Bolak tries to get it across. Couldn't find Fortier, pass disrupted. And Assabet will clear it down the ice. Icing will be called. Now if you want.
Goal by number 7, Matt Sylvia, unassisted. Time of that goal, 6:27, first period.
Now, if you want hard-hitting analysis of that last goal, you had a better look at it at home than I did. I was looking down at the exact wrong moment. I imagine Sylvia unassisted will tell you that it may not have been the most expected goal in that exact moment. Now Sylvia takes it and gets a feed off to the left side, out of the reach of Walker, and cleared down the ice by the Aztecs. Icing again. Had a lot of that tonight, a lot of passes there, just not hitting the mark. Two seconds short of halfway in this first period. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Matthew Sylvia's 24th goal of the season equalizes the score. Evan Walker, left circle shot was blocked in front. Goes through a number of legs. Canada eventually gets a hold of it, tries to slam it back towards Walker behind the net, but it's out of his reach. Aztecs able to get it out of the zone, but settled in the neutral zone by Canada. His pass misses Walker, but ends up going on target. And Welburn's got to cover that one up for a draw. 7:09 to go in the first. Shots now 6 apiece. Got to talk with Justin Bush, head coach of Assabet, before the game. He mentioned, despite the 5-1 scoreline, it was actually one of the better games he felt that his team played in that contest, played across the season. They're a young team that's learning. They've got 10 underclassmen. And obviously a number of new players coming from St. Paul who may not be familiar with this system. Now behind the net, dangerous opportunity, and that's turned aside by McGarry. Alex Silva was right there at the top of the paint. A strong one-timer, but McGarry was in the right spot. That self-pass just goes a little too far, and will go for icing. No touch icing used in Federation rules, and line change is permissible. Faceoff will come to the left of McGarry, won by the Aztec. Shot from Ethan Fogg misses the mark. Comes back to the top of the left circle, and that shot, I think McGarry got a piece of it off the stick of Dustin Daly. Daly looking for his first goal of the season. Now a 2-on-1 developing. Here's Bolak with a shot saved by Welburn. He's not quite sure where it is. Behind him, but not in the net. And now the puck is somewhere. Eventually the official will call play, and it was under Welburn's pad in the end. The first opportunity ends up behind Welburn, but to the side of the net. And Bolak, I think, was trying to poke it through Welburn back in front. But it got caught under one of Welburn's pads, and from there, a stoppage of play. 6:07 to go in the first, 1-1 hockey game. Draw one by the Bernardians, and a shot wired wide to the right. Canada in the right wing corner, picks it up, tries to feed for Sylvia. Can't settle onto a stick. JJ Ja from the right side, through lots of traffic, doesn't make its way through. Stopped by an Assabet skate. Now Ja with the shot, and another Assabet skate will foul that one up. Elliot Edwards this time will knock it away. Now Sylvia shoots and scores! Beautiful one-timer to the top right corner for his 25th goal of the season. 2-1 Bernardians. It's been quite the season for Matthew Sylvia. That time just wiring it past. And obviously celebrating like he's been there before, so many times before this season. He's factored into 51 of the 86 goals.
By number 7, Matt Sylvia. Assist to number 12, Evan Walker. Time of that goal, 9:22, first period.
51 points, factoring into all of those goals this season for the Bernardians. And now Sylvia with a chance at a natural hat trick in 3 minutes and change, but he puts that one wide. Canada wires it past. Held at the left point by Connor Johansson. The Aztecs are able to disrupt that pass, get it down the ice. And we've got more icing than a cake in this contest. That's, what, the 9th call already in this contest? Feels like a lot. Number of chances by both teams, though, in this game. 4:55 to go, first period. 2-1, St. Bernard's in front. Shots on target are 8 apiece. Carter Mojay on the left side. Wanted to get a shot off. Too many bodies in the way. Bolak out to the left point. Brody Kenny can't keep it in the zone. Cody Warren will dump back in as the Bernardians will tag up. Thrown out of the zone to the neutral zone. Settled down by Mojay at the left point on the pass from Warren. Brings it behind the net, goes no further than that. Aztecs get it out of the zone. And St. B's quickly flips it right back in. Assabet will go up the near side. St. Bernard's will take it, bring it back. Mojay to the blue line, now keeping it in. The shot by Kenny is off the mark. Warren following on. Mojay that close to a redirection. A prime opportunity there. Mojay off the boards. Loose an edge. And now that's thrown. That was just 40er out muscling the man. The Aztec looked like he had it on his stick, and 40er basically was shooting the puck off of that Aztec stick onto Welburn. But Welburn there to make the save regardless. No icing this time as Canada regains the zone. He gets the shot, goes over the net. Retrieve his own miss, try to get it to Walker. 2 Aztecs there to dispossess. Rimmed around the boards all the way down, and icing will be called. You'll notice in high school hockey, McGarry can come out of the net and just stop that puck. Gets it back to the official a little quicker. In the higher levels of hockey, if the goalie makes any intent to try to play the puck, they'll waive the icing. But here in the high school level, everybody understands that's going to go for icing. And if it means that we'll save 5 seconds by just letting the goalie go out and get it, then we'll just do that. Nice common sense thing to do. Bernardians will carry it up from their own end. Sylvia feeds it forward, but Walker's offside. Saw the pass coming, started going, but he skated over the blue line before the puck had made his way to him. Didn't quite get the timing right this time. 2:47 to go in the first, 2-1 St. Bernard's. Jackson Mays got the goal for Assabet. Matthew Sylvia's got both the goals for St. Bernard's. Phoenix 40er, backhanded into the zone. As the puck comes around to the right wing corner, Carter Mojay will get there first for the Bernardians, battling with Sam Ryder. Dug out, Toby Bolak. Try to get it back to Mojay. He's able to knock Ryder to the ice. Now to the right point, Ja's shot is stopped by Welburn. He'll cover. Won't allow any further play on that. Mentioned a fortnight ago, Ja got his first of the season against this Assabet side. Face-off won by the Bernardians. Out in front, dangerous opportunity. Mojay just took the extra second, and that was enough time for Welburn to square up and make the save. Quickly dumped back in by the Bernardians. Ryder and Mojay scuffling with each other. Ryder will ultimately win that battle. The shot with a redirection in front by Mojay on the chance by Ja. Welburn will make the stop. Now with a burst of speed on the right side is Christensen, trying to take it all the way to goal. And the save made by McGarry. That'll be sent back down the other way, and icing to be called with 101 seconds to go in the first. Been a few minutes since Assabet got a good opportunity there. Jack Christensen, a senior defenseman, stepping up in the play and driving towards goal. how much he's done in creating opportunities here in the first period. I'm actually surprised he doesn't have any points on the season from what I can tell. Shot from the left side was cut down in front, coming off the stick of Daly. Will come out of the zone. Ethan Fogg will send it back in. Aztecs tag up. They were offside. And now stretched up ahead. And look at that move. And nice save there by Welburn, sticking with Matthew Sylvia. In the market for another hat trick on this campaign. Don't know if he's had one of those feats of doing it in the first period, but he's had a couple opportunities. Andrew Thomas trying to move it along. Adam Rendon behind the net. Turnaround shot by Rendon. Stopped by Welburn. Couldn't get his glove cleanly on it. Will play on. To the right point, Warren shoots it into the left corner. Sylvia will take it off the hop. Sylvia weighing his options, went for the wraparound, couldn't get to go. A couple backhand opportunities by Thomas. Welburn able to stop that as well. Senior netminder's been busy in this first period. Sylvia trying to keep control of the puck with the harassment coming there from Anthony Scola. Andrew Thomas from the red line gains the blue. Tries to get it across for Rendon. Goes off an Assabet skate. Try to backhand it back in the zone, but Bernardians need to tag up first. Will come all the way back into their own end. Clearing attempt unsuccessful. Bercume able to settle it. Into the left side for Bent. Bernardians get it out of the zone. And before Assabet can regroup and reload, the buzzer will sound to bring an end to this first period of play.
Shots on goal first period. Bernardians had 14, and the Aztecs had 9.
Assabet got the first strike. On a one-timer on the doorstep for Jackson May, the sophomore, getting his first goal of the season. But the lead lasts just 39 seconds before Matthew Sylvia was able to equalize on an unassisted goal. And then 2 minutes and 55 seconds later, equalize on a one-timer to give St. Bernard's a 2-1 lead through 15 minutes of play. As you heard Mr. LaPointe say, shots in the first period, 14-9 in favor of St. Bernard's, with the Bernardians getting 6 of the last 7 shots in the frame. Definitely was relatively even in the first 10 minutes or so of the first period. But as the frame went on, St. Bernard's was getting more and more zone time and more opportunities. It was really just a break by a defenseman. That was the only shot Assabet had in the last 5 minutes or so of the first. I mentioned Justin Bush had said that he liked how his team played a couple weeks ago against St. Bernard's. And it feels like they did take a lot of those lessons in from that game at Naven a couple of weeks ago. And are using them to some success. Got the opening strike, they trail after 15, but they're still keeping it relatively close, and there's still a half hour of hockey to play here. This is going to continue to be an entertaining game, and would invite you to stick around and continue watching. 1 period in the books at St. Bernard's 2, Assabet 1. We'll have a break and we'll be back soon, so don't go away. This is St. Bernard's Ice Hockey on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center here in Fitchburg, getting ready for the start of the second period between the St. Bernard's Bernardians and Assabet Valley Aztecs. St. Bernard's leads 2-1 on 2 goals by Matthew Sylvia. Daniel Bolak here with you, Nate Glennie on camera. Happy to have you along with us here tonight. You know, St. B's did get those 2 goals from Sylvia less than 3 minutes apart, but before that, Assabet got the first goal from Jackson May on feed from Liam Carpenter, an additional assist from Sam Ryder. May on the doorstep on the left side, able to slam home a one-timer on the feed from Carpenter to earn his first goal of the season. I was just thinking back to Saturday's game between St. Bernard's and Grand Dunstable. In that game, Grand Dunstable got the first strike in that one, but St. Bernard's was able to equalize before the first period was up. That was a close, hotly contested game. Here it's been a pretty evenly played game, although St. B's definitely was the better team as the period went on. St. B's will now go from right to left, and Assabet will go from left to right. J.J. Jha trying to pass it along. That was knocked down by Joe Bent into the slot, and a shot attempt on the backhand by Alex Silver goes nowhere, but into the right wing corner. Bent tries to backhand it towards goal. That gets blocked in front. Bernardians try to clear. Bent keeps it in the zone. Into the right corner. Settled down by Owen Tolson. Round to the near side. Tried to find Sylvia. He didn't see it coming. And a good opportunity out there on the left side. But Tyler McGarry there. Shut down the opportunity by Marshall Burkhume. Will Canada on the far side. Move it along, but you can see Assabet loading up on the zone time early on in the second period. Looking for an equalizing goal as that's paddled behind the net. Off the stick of Silver and then off McGarry. St. B's finally gets control of it and gets it out of the zone. Nice open ice hit there by Dustin Daly, sending Will Canada to the ice. Not able to keep it in on the right point there was Cody Warren, and offside against the Bernardians. Minute 32 gone in the second period of play. St. B's coming into today with that record of 13-1. Their one loss coming all the way back on December 27th against the PBD Saugus Swampscott Co-op. Assabet trying to settle in, try to get an opportunity on. It'll be cleared out of the zone, pushed forward. Here's Toby Bolak. Backhand pass one to find Mauger. Fortier will follow on instead. Mauger will get a second shot, and Welburn able to shut those down. Assabet has the pass miss everybody, and we'll continue with the icings. Had a lot of those calls in the first period. Get a face-off to the right of Alex Welborn, as we'll make a little change here in the press box. We'll sub out Nate Glennie, give him the rest of the night off. Travis Falk will take us the rest of the way here in this doubleheader. Down the ice that'll go, and icing will be called against St. Bernard's. One on either side. Face-off comes to one side of McGarry. Shots in the contest, 4 squared to 3 squared. 16-9 if you don't feel like doing the math that quickly. St. Bernard's with the advantage there. 14 saves for Alex Welborn. And 8 saves for Tyler McGarry. Draw sort of controlled by Assabet, but Walker will take it on the near side. Stretch it up for Sylvia. Sylvia is able to handle the pass, get the shot, and misses the mark. Welburn goes tumbling, he gets back in position. Come back to the left point. The shot punched away by Welburn. Sylvia out to the left point for Kenny. Brody Kenny backhanded along. Evan Walker out to the right point, kept in by Warren. Around the boards, tried to find Canada. A little too far to the north there. Now into the slot. Shot by Canada is gloved by Welburn. St. B's has the first few shots in the second period, even with Assabet starting with the momentum in the first 90 seconds or so. Draw eventually controlled by Assabet and flipped out of the zone. Down the ice will be deemed obtainable, so icing waived. Owen Tolson on the near side for Phoenix Fortier. Pass mishandled or knocked down, and here's a shot, a goal! Toby Bolak will fire it under Welburn. Ethan Fogg tried to disrupt the stretch pass. Couldn't quite get it. Bolak's able to finish the job and make it 3-1 Bernardians. 13th goal of the season for the junior. Was able to fire it past. Assabet's now conceded 3 goals in a row. They get a shot there from the right side off the stick of Anthony Scola, patted down by McGarry. Thrown out of the zone by the Bernardians, dumped back in by the Aztecs. Phoenix 40er out to the neutral zone. Fogg is able to send it back in. Bernardians able to get it back out. Here's Bolak on the right side. Battle 4 in the right wing corner, Fortier. Out for Bolak, his shot hits the post. Trying to score twice in a minute's time. There's a shot from the right point, ends up going wide of the cage. Brody Kenny digs it out, gets it to Fortier. Now Walker, thinking about the wraparound, sees too many bodies in the way. Kept in there. Cody Warren tries to turn that towards goal. Fortier battling with 3 Aztecs in front. And a shot and a save by Welburn. Rebound out to Kenny. His shot off a leg and goes wide. 5 minutes gone here in the second period of play. It's 3-1 St. Bernard's. Icing called.
Bernardin's third goal scored by number 23, Toby Bolak. Assist to number 6, Phoenix Fortier, and number 17, Owen Tolson. Time of that goal, 3:33, second period.
So there's the scoring on that. Phoenix Fortier's 13th assist of the season. And for Owen Tolson, it's his 3rd. 3-1 now to St. Bernard's. Cody Warren trying to jump on that puck. Now Sylvia gets a shot, he hits the iron. Second post in as many minutes. Assabet gains the zone. Jack Christensen dispossessed. And the Bernardian takes a shot up high. That's Sylvia who's holding his head. That coming away from the play. Sylvia really just checking to see if he's bleeding or something. Keeps reaching to his mask. It'll come back to the ice under his own power. 2 referees in high school ice hockey, no linesmen. There's only 2 pairs of eyes out there to see what happened, and that was clearly something that happened behind the play. I know I didn't see it. Maybe you folks at home got to see it. 9:23 to go in the second period. 3-1 St. Bernard's in front. Faceoff will come to the right of Tyler McGarry. He's got 10 saves on the night. Pass up the near side. Isn't going to be able to make its way out to Bolak. It'll be thrown back into the Bernardian end. Brody Kenny. His pass for Fortier. Now go to the right side. Rendon put it off the boards. And Bolak will turn and shoot it on target. Welburn to make the stop on the 95-footer. Popped up in the air in the blue line on the Assabet side. Continued stick work. Bolak gets a touch, comes out of his reach. Carter Moget will follow on, put it off the boards and into the Aztec zone. St. B's takes it right wing corner. Rendon looking for space, shoots and stopped by Welburn. 8:24 to go second period, 3-1 St. Bernard's. Shots 19-11 in favor of the Bernardian. Shots in this period are 5-2. St. Bernard's coming to this game with a rating of, let's say 4/9 in the power ratings. Assabet at just under -2.5, maybe just better than -2.5, I would say. For Assabet, they're 45th in Division III and in a position where they're going to need to finish at 500 or better to make the playoffs. And here's an opportunity for the Aztecs. Dropped off, and the shot couldn't be cleanly taken by Bercume. Now another chance. That puck floating around, and it finds its way into the back of the net. The puck changing every which way. McGarry not sure what way to contort his body. Marshall Bercume will take the acclaim on that one, and Assabet cuts the deficit in half. Initially, Bercume flubbed on the one-timer, and then everybody had trouble handling that puck. The hottest of potatoes, or perhaps maybe the coldest of potatoes in this case. It's suddenly a 3-2 hockey game. Matthew Sylvia's back on the ice. Trying to take on two men. It takes that many to knock him off the puck and shut down the play. And delayed call is coming against St. Bernard's. It's going to be our first penalty of the night, 2 seconds past halfway in this contest. Evan Walker will take the blame. He'll go to the box for two. It'll be a cross-check. And we'll see our first power play of the night. Aztecs will win the draw. 2 minutes on the man advantage. Joe Bent, top of the right circle. Gets it for Dustin Daly. Back for Bent. Shot through traffic. Stopped by McGarry. The referee lost sight of the puck in a position where he couldn't see that it was still available. I think McGarry may have had it, and then it dropped onto his left pad. The Bernardians were just about to move it from danger, but then the whistle blew. That may actually benefit Assabet in a sense, because now they get the offensive zone draw. As the shot from Bent misses the mark.
Aztec second goal scored by number 7, Marshall Bercume. Assist to number 4, Brady Saka. Time of the goal, 7:03, second period.
Saka will get the assist on the goal by Bercume. Puck will come out of the zone, and Bent, the Maynard native, move it along. He'll get it back on the far side. 1:07 to go on the man advantage. So he'll stop right at the blue line. Keep control of the puck. Get it to Dustin Daly. Not enough oomph on that pass. And pushing it out of the zone is Carter Mauger. Brody Kenny able to dispossess in his own zone, able to get it back across the blue line into the neutral. Huge hit there by Phoenix 40, laying out Joe Bent. The Bernardians will rainbow that out of the zone from their own blue line. Get some fresh legs on the ice. 32 seconds to go in the man advantage, 6 minutes to go in the second period. 3-2 St. Bernard's in front. Assabet just trying to regroup. Move it up on the near side, pass out of the reach of Saka. Owen Tolson says, get that out of here. Spits that down the ice. And Walker will come back onto the ice as the penalty is up. Back to full strength. Stretch pass. End up going close enough on target. Welburn tries to cover, doesn't get the whistle. And Sylvia gets it at the point. Along for Bolak, the right side. The right point to Ja, Bolak. Touch on to the near side. Tolson trying to settle at the half boards. And now Bolak, high riser, misses the net. Out of the zone it comes. Back on the red line, Tolson will dump it back in. Jack Christensen try to get it out of the zone. Sylvia right there. Not given the space. Now Bolak takes advantage and fires that shot, but Alex Welburn with a nice glove save. A dangerous turnover there, and that's just strong forechecking by the Bernardians. They lead 3-2, out shooting Assabet 20-12. There's a shot through a lot of traffic off the stick of Will Canada, makes its way to Welburn. He's able to make the pad save. That goes into the St. Bernard's bench. But Assabet using that experience they gained a couple weeks ago, and they're staying right with this fiery St. Bernard side, 9th in Division 4 coming into tonight. And if St. B's wants to increase their rating, they're going to want to win this game by 3 goals, preferably. If a team wants to advance their rating, the gap between their ratings is what you want to win by. And if it's more than 3 for ice hockey, then 3 or more is what you have to do to limit the damage to your rating. I don't know what direction that puck bounced, but it stayed in play after all of that. Now loose top of the slot. Great shot by Bolak, save by Welburn. And another clear for Assabet, another icing. Face-off will come to one side of Welburn on the other end with 3:41 to go in the second. 3-2 Bernardians in front. Shot off the draw will go wide to the left. Tolson moving into the left wing corner for Walker. Walker trying to keep control with 2-3 Aztecs trying to dispossess. They will win that battle. Brady Saka brings it up the right side. Straw passes a little off the mark. Rakume couldn't handle it. It was disrupted by a Bernardian. Now Assabet doing what they can to keep control of the puck. Daly skating it around. This pass only finds Will Cannon. He gets it out of the zone. Daly will retrieve at his own blue line. Evan Walker with some disruption. Canada in the right corner. Out in the right corner still. Finally comes free to Bent. He's able to get it out to the red line. Floated back into the zone by Tolson. Daly gets control on the far side. And we'll move it up ice. Shot saved by McGarry. And we have a slash indicated here. That'll go against the Bernardians. Another power play coming for Assabet with 2:32 to go in the second. Will Canada is the guilty party this time. He'll sit 2 minutes or less. But before we continue play,
Civic Center, we need help. Broken pane of glass.
One of the pieces that holds the glass in place has come loose enough that the officials are not comfortable with continuing play at this moment. So we'll do some facility maintenance here. Or perhaps it was something else. So one official's ready to continue play. Maybe that wasn't what it was. I think instead it's actually there was something they needed attention to. Might be someone getting ejected from the contest for all I know. Regardless, we'll play on here.
Bernardian penalty number 28, Will Canada. 2-minute line with the slashing. Time of the penalty.
Slashing against Canada will lead to the second power play of the night. Both have been for Assabet. We were clean in the first period. Skating around on the left side is Christensen. Gets it out to the point, now to the right side. Here's a shot that's punched away by McGarry off the stick of Liam Carpenter. Had the feed that set up Jackson May's goal back in the first. Now to the point, Carpenter. Holding at the point. Moving around, top of the left circle, shot through all the traffic, got its way to McGarry. He's able to make the save. Brody Kenny trying to keep control of the puck. Anthony Scola falls down behind the net. Assabet doing very well to keep control of the puck, to keep it in the zone. Now comes out in front, but not able to quickly turn it towards goal was Fogg. More battling there in the front of the net. He comes out to the left point. He'll be held in again by Christensen. Pretty much this entire power play has been in the St. Bernard's end.
Last minute of play, second period.
Bernardians haven't put themselves in a position where they can clear it, and Fortier's not able to get it out of the zone. There's Bent on the right side. His shot goes off the stick of Carter Bourget and into the netting and out of play. 50.3 to go in the second and 18 seconds to go on the penalty to Canada. Good opportunities for Assabet here. Try to get a late man on there and Ryder, but informed that his substitution comes much too late to be permissible. To the left corner behind the net, JJ Jha gets a stick on it. First attempt to whack it around the boards isn't successful, and he gets tied up with two different players. Ultimately, Bernardians take control of it, and a big stretch pass. Here's Canada coming right out of the box. It's taken down, and that one pushed towards goal by Walker. The save made, the net dislodged. Assabet doing everything they could to keep that out of the net, and they were able to do so. 23.1 to go in the second. 1 goal lead for the Bernardians. Assabet won the draw here. Staley battles forward in the left wing corner. Bernardians hungry for another goal. From a backhand chance, nothing going there. Centering pass, a whiff on in the final seconds. 5 seconds to go in the frame. Assabet trying to rush up for one more chance. Saka being instructed to shoot, gets a pass off, but the one-timer fanned on. And ultimately no shot before the buzzer sounds. 30 minutes in the books. And it's just a 3-2 lead for St. Bernard's. This game much closer than the game that we had a fortnight ago. And the type of game that's looking like it'll go down to the wire.
Aztecs had 8 and the Bernardians had 8.
Each team had 8 shots on target in the second period of play, and each team found the back of the net.
Okay, I have the winning raffle ticket for tonight's 50-50.
For St. B's, Toby Bolak able to score on a one-timer for his 13th goal of the season. Made it a 3-1 hockey game. After a lot of discombobulation in the front of the net, Marshall Bercume was able to get one back for Assabet, get his 4th goal of the season. Cut it back to a 1-goal game. The Bernardians able to survive 2 penalty kills. And we'll start the third period with the Bernardians up a goal and at full strength. But it was definitely a much closer second period. There were fits and spurts. There were a good few minutes where St. Bernard's was dominating the period, but there were stretches in which Assabet was keeping control of the puck and playing quite well, creating opportunities, and had a couple of pretty good looks on that power play too, especially the one later in the period. They're probably not too far away from equalizing. And considering the 4-goal loss 2 weeks ago, a much closer game. Assabet knows that they played pretty well despite the scoreline against St. Bernard's 2 weeks ago, and perhaps, with it being so close, the games between each other, that the mistakes that you may have made back in Marlborough are a little fresher in your head. And Assabet's coming out strong in this period and playing quite well. And we'll see what they can do if they can try to tie the game up where St. Bernard's can pull away. It'll be an exciting third period of action. You're not going to want to miss it. 2 periods in the books here at the Wallace Civic Center at St. Bernard's 3, Assabet Valley 2. Take a break, we'll be back soon, so don't go away. This is St. Bernard's Ice Hockey on FATV. We're back here at the Wallace Civic Center here on the campus of Fitchburg State University. Getting ready for the start of the third period between the Bernardians of St. Bernard's and the Aztecs of Assabet Valley, with St. B's holding on to a 3-2 lead. Daniel Bolak here with you, Travis Falco on camera. Nate Glennie had the first period and change. And Travis has taken us the rest of the way. We all thank you for joining us here tonight on FATV. First half of our doubleheader, as after this game we'll have the contest between Monty Tech Fitchburg and Littleton Bromfield. But meanwhile, this meeting, the second between these two teams this season, a relatively close one. Matthew Sylvia had 2 goals in the first for the Bernardians. Toby Bolak had the goal in the second for St. B's. Assabet has goals from Jackson May and from Marshall Burcume. 19 saves for Alex Welburn and 15 saves for Tyler McGarry in this contest. St. B's goes from left to right here in the third period. Assabet goes from right to left. And we are underway. Dustin Daly on the left side. Up for Burcume to the red line. Rendon trying to move the puck along. Back to one blue line, then to the near side. Or the one to our left in a stretch pass. Just out of the reach of Rendon. Wouldn't be icing at higher levels, but it is here. No touch icing enforced. Doesn't really matter how close Rendon was unless he was going to touch the puck, basically. So the faceoff comes all the way down to one side of McGarry. Saka able to control it, try to get the centering pass looking for Burcume, but that was disrupted by Bernardian. Pressure on the near side in front of the Assabet bench. Rendon had his stick knocked out of his hands, and as Aztec tried to hand it back to him, let's say he let go of the stick a little early. Puck comes out of the Assabet zone, but St. Bernard's quickly knocks it back in, and it'll change up the lines. Joe Bent has his stick fail him as he tries to send that down the ice. Get a fresh twig from the bench. Brady Sacco with the takeaway, and a shot gets blocked. St. B's comes back the other way. Shot from 40 here, wired wide. Anthony Scola will touch on the red line, but not much more than that. Here's Will Canada. His shot will be knocked down with the glove by Alex Welburn. Evan Walker on the left side boards. Out in front, Sylvia. Not able to get a hold of that one. That'll be knocked out of the zone. Walker regains in the left wing corner. Stick work, some battling there on the far side. Scola is able to push it towards the penalty box and out of the zone. Wired back in by Kenny. Be shouldered down by Welburn. The 80-footer is our first shot on target in this third period. Into the Assabet zone and back down the ice. Will not go for icing. Brody Kenny will get that one. Stretch it up for Toby Bolak. Bolak with the shot and a glove save by Welburn. Bolak scoring in the second period might have been a little bit of revenge in the sense that the game 2 weeks ago was actually the only time all season that Bolak was held without a point. He'd recorded a goal or an assist in every other game this season. And with this goal in the second period, 14 from 15, is in front, they score! And it's Toby Bolak for his second of the game! He nails the one-timer to make it 4-2 Bernardians! Well executed there to get that feed right on Bolak to the left side of the paint. It's right where Jackson May got his goal for Assabet back in the first period. Although the angle pass was different. 2 goals for Matt Sylvia, 2 goals for Toby Bolak. Both juniors having quite the night. And 4-2 now in favor of the Bernardians, restoring the 2-goal advantage. Shot from Fortier over the net. And the puck popped into the slot, but nobody can get it for the Bernardians as Dustin Daly will rush up the far side. Drop it for Saka. Right circle, shot save, second chance. Ricochets wide. Daly will retrieve the loose puck back in his end.
23, Toby Bolak. Assist number 6, Phoenix Fortier in number 17. Owen Tolson, time of that goal, 2:54. Third period.
Scoring on that 4th goal exactly the same as it was on goal number 3. Toby Bolak on the feeds from Phoenix Fortier and for Owen Tolson. And for Tolson, he's now doubled his assist total on the campaign. Came in with 2 tonight, he's got 4. And for Phoenix Fortier, it's his 14th assist. And for Toby Bolak, his 14th goal. 4-2 Bernardians. Anthony Scola tried a self-pass, but he's not going to be able to beat Brody Kenny to the puck. Canada on the near side. Here's Matthew Sylvia. Touch on for Kenny. Kenny throws out in front off the pads of Wellburn. But no Bernardians waiting in the slot. Liam Carpenter gets the blue line. No further than that on the original go. Second opportunity, Sylvia gets in the way. Pass to the near side for Will Canada. Canada trying to get around Joe Bent. And Bent takes him to the ice illegally. St. Bernard's will now have their first power play of the contest with 10:02 to go in the third. Bent will go for the hook. Remembered earlier this year that Matt Sylvia had 2 hat tricks on the campaign, and I was just looking to see if he'd added any more to the tally, now that he's up to 25 goals on the season. The answer is no. A lot of 2-goal games, but he hasn't had a hat trick since the December 26th win against Boston Latin Academy. Phoenix Fortier in the left corner for Bolak. His shot is stopped by Wellburn. He'll hold for a draw. Hat tricks for Sylvia against Worcester and Latin Academy. And 2-goal games against a number of teams. See if I can get some time to read them at the next whistle. Walker can't get the shot cleanly away. That'll be cleared out of the zone by the Aztecs. All the way down the ice it'll go. Tyler McGarry will settle it. Here is Sylvia. Lead the reset. He storms up the center of the ice. Try and navigate around everybody. Take it behind the net. He'll pass it off for J.J. Ja. To the left circle, Walker, Bolak, shot. Turned aside by Welburn. Comes back Devin Walker. The left side, we have a whistle. And we have a slash. And Toby Bolak will go to the box to bring an end to the power play. We'll play 4-on-4 for 51 seconds, and then we'll have an abbreviated power play for Assabet. In case you're wondering, in terms of hat tricks for Toby Bolak this season, he's had one. That was in the second game against Northbridge. The one in which St. Bernard's got over 80 shots on goal. Sounds like a weird thing to say in a hockey game, but according to the TNG, that's what happened. At least according to the box score that was submitted and what they've put up.
Providing penalty number 23, Toby Bolak, 2 minute minor for slashing. Penalty penalty 6:07.
Shot sticked away by McGarry, and the puck sent down the ice. It will go for icing. 18 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Looking ahead at these two teams' next games. Assabet will be taking on Northbridge on the 31st, a 3 o'clock puck drop. Northbridge for a long time used to play their home games at the New England Sports Complex, but here's a breakaway for Phoenix. Fortier puts on the moves and gets the goal! Phoenix Fortier with his 16th goal of the season makes it 5-2 Bernardians. Nicely sprung on the breakaway there. Fortier put on all the moves. Got Welburn to commit, and then just snuck it past him. 5-2 to St. Bernard's. Ben tried to come out of the box thinking that would spring him. But the penalty was still on the board against him. It's like, with the penalty of the Bolak, it didn't spring him, but now it is. And Assabet will now have their third power play of the night. They'll have 55 seconds to work with here. As Benton regains the zone. Dropped off for Jack Christensen. His shot, though, is off the mark. That rides the boards, hits the glass, and goes out of play. (5-2) St. Bernard's in front with 7:38 to go in the third period. And 46 seconds to go on this man advantage for Assabet Valley. Draw comes to the left of McGarry. Won by the Aztecs.
Scored by number 6, Phoenix Fortier. Assist number 15, Brody Kenny. Time of that goal, 6:51, third period.
Brody Kenny will get the lone assist. He had the feed to Spring Fortier. A lot of back and forth passing here. Assabet just not comfortable with the shooting lane. They never find one. As St. B's will dump it down the ice. Welburn will leave it for Christensen, who overskates. Pounded off the boards for Saka. J.J. Ja will dispossess. And on the rush, here is Sylvia. Sylvia trying to take it all the way. Thinking about the wraparound, throws it in front, goes off a man in front. It doesn't find its way to Bolak, who's looking for the hat trick there. Ja keeps it in the zone. Float in the direction of goal. Offline a little bit. Christensen on the far side. 6:25 to go, third period. 5-2, Bernardians in front. Saka shot saved by McGarry. And now Bolak trying to go on the rush. Bolak taking it all the way. His shot shouldered away by Welburn. Out of the zone, it goes back to the Bernardian blue line. Try to push it forward. Bolak wants that puck back. Well, Assabet takes it. The shot from Bent is offline to the left. Kenny tried to hit that stretch pass, wanted to spring forward here again. This time it was out of Phoenix's reach. And icing is called. 5:45 to go in the third. As I was saying, Northbridge for a very long time used to play their home games at the New England Sports Complex in Marlborough. Would have been a relatively short trip for Assabet, but Northbridge now plays a little closer to home at the Blackstone Valley Iceplex. So a little farther away. That's pushed towards McGarry. Recovered for a draw. St. Bernard's next game is going to be on Saturday. They'll be taking on Monty Fitchburg, who'll be playing in the second game of our doubleheader. If you mean tonight or Saturday, the answer is yes. Puck drop scheduled for, warm-up time is scheduled for 7:10, since that'll be following a college hockey game. So we'll have Fitchburg State in Riviere at 5. Hockey Day in the Berg. We'll have those two games for you on Saturday. And don't forget Monty Fitchburg and Littleton Brownfield coming up next here on FATV. Will Canada try to pass it out there for Sylvia. The pass disrupted and cleared. Kenny out to the blue line. Evan Walker pins that up against the boards. Everyone battling for it. Eventually poked free. Daly to the near side. Carpenter, his pass knocked down. Couldn't find Alex Silver. Now fed out Canada. Tough angle shot. I think Welburn got a piece. Jaw back in position. And was Welburn to make the save. Walker spins around, shoots. That one worn well by Silver. Back to the red line and set back into the zone by the Bernardians. 4:15 to go in the third. They lead by 3 goals. Shots in this period are 9-2 in favor of St. Bernard's. In terms of the style of play, they found what they were looking for in this frame. To try to pull away a little bit, get that 3-goal margin. We mentioned earlier, to maximize to their spot in the power ratings and to ensure that they don't lose any points in the power ratings, they need to win this game by at least 3 goals. Any closer game, that will cause the rating to drop. Face-off comes to the left of Welburn. Won by the Bernardians, but the shot was blocked. Brady Saka skate up to the right side. Tries to backhand into the slot. That missed the mark, and here's a 2-on-1 coming. It's Bolak, tight angle shot, save, rebound! Scores! Carter Mauger on the follow-on! Is able to sneak it under Welburn and in to make it 6-2 Bernardians. Bolak coming in on such a tight angle. Would have been challenging to beat him from that spot, but he took a shot at it. And Welburn was able to make the save, but the puck sitting right out in front and the rebound coming home. And now some maintenance being done on Welburn here.
Running 6 goals scored by the 16, Carter Mauger. Assist number 23, Toby Bolak. Time of that goal, 11:29, third period.
I think what may have happened is I think the skate might have popped out there. And so Welburn couldn't actually really do anything to get back up and to maneuver around to stop the shot by Moget. It just slipped under him, and now he's testing it out, trying to make sure that the skate's back in there. You know, technology, those quick release blades. And I think Wellborn is feeling that he's, whether it's because of the equipment or if there's something else that's a little off with him, I think he feels he's probably not comfortable to finish the game, or at least to play the next phase of play. So it looks like we'll see Evan Hogan, the junior keeper, finish this one off. Hogan's made at least 3 appearances this season for the Aztecs. That shot from the blue line had a chance to catch McGarry out, but he was wise to it. Draw will come to the left of McGarry. Bernardians win it. Walker get a touch on that? He did not. Icing will bring the puck back down.
Now in goal for the Aztecs, number 30, Evan Hogan.
And just as quickly as Hogan gets announced as the goalie, Wellborn skates fixed, so Wellborn will come back in, and well, hey, for Hogan, that's 15 seconds to his account in a game played. It was really just the skate. They're testing it, didn't like how it felt, so just had to take a little extra time to ensure that it was all set and safe. As Canada's shot is deflected high into the netting. Bernardians on their way to their 6th win in CMAC-B play. They still have 2 more games to go in league play. Game against Keefe Tech on Saturday the 7th. The Mustangs still looking for their first win of the season. And then a game against Worcester on the 16th down on Lake Ave in Worcester. A rematch of the 9-8 Classic these two teams played earlier this season. Bolak in the right circle. Can't handle the pass. Ja had his shot go wide. Johansson holding at the left point. The freshman moves along behind the net. Now centered in front, pinballs around. And there's a shot turned aside by Wellborn. Ja kept it at the right point. Couple of shots, couple efforts. Now all the way around to the far side. Daly gets a high rising shot that misses the net. Got it off the boards, but dispossessed by 2 Bernardians. Protecting on the far side is Andrew Thomas. That'll come out of the zone. Adam Rendon trying to get to that puck. We'll just go back and forth between the blue lines as we're into the final 80 seconds or so of this contest. St. B's leading by a score of 6-2. Marshall Bercume on the left side. Shoots and scores! A brilliant snipe into the top right corner. Second of the game for Marshall Bercume. Makes it 6-3. The corner beautifully picked there. Second goal of the game, 5th of the season for the sophomore from St. Paul High School.
Aztecs third goal by number 7. Marshall Burkhume, assist number 5. Jack Christensen, time of the goal. 13:48.
Said earlier in the game for Jack Christensen, he's played far too well to have no points on the season. Well, he's fixed that. He's got his first point of the campaign with that assist there. Centered in front, nothing going there. Kenny with a shot over the crossbar. Out of the zone, Kenny dumps it back in. Off the backboards. Picked up by Christensen. He'll slam it off the side. As again, the passing goes between the blue lines. Sylvia's offside. You can't believe it. It was very close, bang, bang, but the offside is given. We mentioned before, he's had so many 2-goal games this season. Against Keefe Tech, against Hopedale, against Bishop Fenwick, Northbridge, Assabet, Pentucket, and Grand Dunstable, in addition to his hat-trick games earlier in the campaign. Unless something changes in the next 15 seconds, he'll have to settle for another 2-goal game. 7 seconds to go, one more shot for Assabet, sticked aside by McGeary. Round the boards, the time will expire. St. Bernard's comes away with a 6-3 win to sweep the season series against the Aztecs and go to 14-1. Assabet got the opening goal, and they got 1 goal in each of the periods. But St. Bernard's, they were able to answer back very quickly. Only took 39 seconds to respond. And just under 3 minutes later, the Bernardians would have a lead that they would not relinquish. The second period was pretty even. 8-8 the shots between the two sides, and the scoring 1 apiece. But the third period of play saw St. B's thoroughly outplay the Aztecs, outscoring them 3-1, outshooting them 12-4. And St. Bernard's now 15 games played and 14 victories. They came away with what they wanted. They'll happily take the maximum points in the power ratings with this result. And for Assabet, more lessons for them as they continue league play and they continue the rest of their campaign. They'll fall to 4-6-2. They'll have 7 games remaining in the slate. Assabet only scheduled 19 this season, so it gives them a little less of a margin to sneak into the playoffs. They've got to finish 500 at season's end if they want to get in. They're a little too far behind on the power rating points, I think, to get back what they need to get themselves into the playoffs on rating alone.
You'll have the Littleton Tigers versus the Mining Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs here at the Civic Center Ice. Puck drop about 7:40.
But Assabet had their moments, had a pretty solid look of things. In looking ahead at some of the teams that they do have to play, it's interesting that as I look at their all the records, Northbridge and Keefe Tech not having the best of seasons. Northbridge only has 2 wins. Keefe Tech doesn't have any. But everybody else is at 500 or just below it. 2 games against 5-6 Worcester, 6-7 Attleboro, 6-6 Oakmont, 6-7 Lynn. There's definitely a path for Assabet to get into the playoffs. As long as they win 2 games more than they lose down the stretch, then there's a path. They can definitely get themselves in there. I mean, take the next 2 games and then just try to go 500 the best you can against the last 5 sides, and you could find yourselves in the playoffs. And for St. Bernard's, it's just a matter of trying to keep on rolling the best they can. And Assabet's next contest is going to be on Saturday against Northbridge, 3 o'clock puck drop down in Hopedale. And for St. Bernard's, their next game on Saturday, Hockey Day in the Burg against Monty Tech Fitchburg. That game will start sometime after 7 o'clock. Warm-up scheduled to begin at 7:10. And so that's it for game number 1 of our doubleheader. We invite you to stay tuned to game number 2 of the doubleheader between Monty Tech Fitchburg and Littleton Bromfield. But if you're only interested in this contest, we thank you for tuning in. For Nate Glennie and Travis Falk on camera, I'm Daniel Bolak saying thank you for tuning in. The final score for the final time, St. Bernard's Bernardians 6, the Assabet Aztecs 3. So until next time, so long from Fitchburg.